It was somebody that I was like, I used to see out and be like, yo, that's that. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing. And it bugged me because
you should have given me a trigger warning or something. Like, you that's insane that you just sent that. Like, that's insane that you sent that to me. And I thought like it was gonna be like haha, like funny. I didn't realize it was like, oh my God. Let's do it. Let's do it, Kendrick Lamar. I'm Kendrick Lamar.
Euphoria.
All right. So I've already listened to it, obviously, and it's pretty good. Many people are saying Kendrick won. Many people are saying that people are smoking on that Drake pack. And to be honest, I agree with those people. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Like, I'm on board. I like that. This is debate Ak on this. Okay, dude. Debating DJ Academics on issues that are Drake related is like talking about the flat earth with a flat earther, like the foremost dick rider of the flat earth conspiracy. All right. First, it starts off. First of all, let's talk about Euphoria. Now, why the name Euphoria? Drake obviously named, what was it? Push-Ups, right? His song against Kendrick. And he titled it that way because he was talking about like drop and give me 50, right? Euphoria, on the other hand, is the TV show that Drake, I believe, is an executive producer on, or played some producer role on. But also simultaneously, Euphoria is, relatively controversial with its inappropriate age gaps and relations between minors and adults, that sort of stuff. I think that definitely is part of the reason why he brought it up, or named it that. The example sentence says they had almost a week to recover from the euphoria of Tuesday's series winning victory, implying that it'll take at least a week, considering that this song was released on a Tuesday. He's saying that it'll take a week to recover. Anyway, starts off with a reverse sample. Everything they say about me is true. And the original audio is from 1978 film The Wiz, a remake of 1939's The Wizard of Oz. The full line for the movie is spoken by Richard Pryor as the wizard is, everything they say about me is true, I'm a phony. Kendrick used the reverse audio in this music before, as heard in the outro of his May 2017 track, Duckworth, and during The Bridge of Fear. The reversed audio there ties all the tracks on Lamar's album, Damn, together. While the audio here hides a veiled jab at Drake, calling him a phony, just like the character in the movie proclaims himself to be. Interestingly, Michael Jackson plays the Scarecrow in The Wiz, a character synonymous with inauthenticity, as he is a literal straw man. This could tie into the fact that Kendrick compared himself to the Prince while comparing Drake to Michael Jackson. Every single bar on this is going to have an encyclopedia because it's Kendrick Lamar. So everything is an allegory. There's going to be, like, every single line has like infinite meanings. Okay? It's just,
Calculate, you're not as calculated. I can even predict your angle. Fabricate stories on.
Yeah, I calculate you're not as calculated. I can even predict your angle, saying that his moves are obviously easy to address. He talks about how he's moving like a degenerate, and every antic is feeling distasteful, taking shots directly at Drake for using, I think, the Tupac AI line too. There's going to be more references to that in the song. The famous actor we once knew is looking paranoid and now is spiraling, obviously bringing up his Drake's callback to a controversial 2007 photo shoot where he appeared wearing blackface, but also talking about how in the Degrassi, The Next Generation, he was a beloved popular student who was later paralyzed following a gunshot wound to the back. Additionally, Kendrick alludes to Drizzy's downward spiral, just like other artists who are beefing with Drake, such as Rick Ross, who levied a similar claim on his own. Champagne moments, living fine, I'm getting high as your shit decline.
But don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell truths about you. The mention must run in his family, but let it get shaky. I park your son. The very
I'm sorry. There's so many different things I want to mention. It's, first of all, this is an insanely disrespectful line. Okay? It's a insanely disrespectful line. The Pray for My City, he faking for likes and digital hugs is awesome, specifically because of the Canadian gun violence homicide awareness campaign in 2019 titled Remember Me Toronto, talking about his own personal background, which Drake weirdly came after, despite the fact that that is a line of attack that is way more appropriate for Drake. Kendrick also alludes to the fact that he may or may not have been involved in gun violence and altercations personally. Yeah. Yeet type beat, do you hear the bells? But it's not even the best part. For me personally, every part is really good. But there's one part that you are going to see where he just starts taking shots, not just at Drake, but just the entire area of Toronto, which I think is, I mean, that's masterclass shit. Okay? That is so good. It's so good that he basically just, we'll get there.
There's 3 ghosts left, and I see 2 of them kissing and hugging on stage. I love
And J. Cole too. Oh no! I thought J. Cole decided to stand out of this. He threw in the towel and he still caught a stray. God damn. He's dead already, Kendrick. Don't do it, Kendrick. J. Fold. Kendrick. Throughout the song, he makes a lot of inferences to Drake being a culture vulture, which I thought was done in pretty good taste as well. Not as aggressively as like Rick Ross being like, white boy, you are not black or whatever, which a lot of people were actually frustrated by, upset, I think, saying like, oh, you're just, you know, because he's biracial, you're saying that he's not really black. But that it had nothing to do with his racial status, and everything to do with the fact that he is a culture vulture entirely, like picking and choosing what aspects of black culture from different parts of the world that he personally thinks is, you know, is cool. Okay.
Can I bleed them? When I see you stand by sexy red, I believe you see 2 bad bitches.
This part is so funny because you're like, okay, that's really disrespectful. Okay, is it over? And then he just starts again. It's like watching someone pummel the face of another individual after like the person is no longer breathing, like they're obviously dead, and you're just watching somebody keep going with the same intensity. It's kind of up. There's a point where you're like, okay, dude, like calm down. All right, Jesus Christ, never mind. No, it's back.
Ain't 20v1, it's 1v20 if I gotta smack that right with you. Yeah.
Okay.
Fried rice with a dip sauce and a blammy, Crody. Tell me your cheesing, farmer. We could do this right now on the camera, Crody. We don't wanna hear you say nigga no more. Stop.
Oof. I feel like it's I mean he had it. He just I don't know. I mean that's just, is this allowed? Are we allowed to listen to this? Is he allowed to say this? I mean he put 3 different songs in one song. It's just like, I don't know what to say about it beyond the fact that Drake's biggest meat writer coping about Kendrick's diss.
Anything. No, you know what? Let's just listen to this.
No, what I saw from r/Drake, because I went there, because I wanted to see what the real Drake meat writers were saying, and even they were like, well, it's actually pretty good. Oh, it's pretty good, and you know this will make great rap music. This will make Drake. Ooh, I can't wait for Drake to respond.
We don't wanna hear you say nigga no more. Stop.
Racist, sexist.
Bro, oh my God. Where are the chatters that were like, bro, Drake, I can't believe some of the shit you're saying about Drake. Excuse me. His fan base is not all, is not just for white people. Okay. Obviously. And I never even said that, but like racist,
homophobic, and possibly transphobic. All these things, I thought Kendrick was this, I thought he was like on a high horse spiritually, mentally. I thought he was like a woke, Now all of a sudden, what happened, bro? I'm confused. I gotta look at the lyrics on this. I'm confused about this shit, bro. Honestly, bro. Honestly, I'm very confused by this song. And it's also not like it's not like a catchy song. But let me see. Let me pull this up.
OVO #1 rider. Everyone's calling him an OVO dick rider. Your IQ too low to understand. Bro's riding harder than you do for La Zionist. Yeah, he's just cheesing, fam. Okay, listen. Oh yeah, the worst part about it is that obviously Kendrick Lamar's Drake This Euphoria earns the biggest streaming day for any rap song in 2024. In its first full day, it had over 9.2 million streams on Spotify. This song was originally 19 minutes. Kendrick, a real hater. It is, yes. I mean, it was so personal and so disrespectful in all of the very meaningful ways that, like, I think a person like Drake is thin-skinned about. You know what I mean? Yeah. Olayemi had a great take on this, obviously. Kendrick didn't say Drake's not black because he's light-skinned or biracial. It's because he cosplays blackness from every artist in every region he can steal it from, despite never speaking on black issues while actively being exploitative and doing mess like calling Rick Ross racist. I mean, the Rick Ross's racist was so funny because it was just like it added to the self-own in that situation, because it's like how are you gonna get owned by Rick Ross? Like, one, you just openly admitted that he got to you. It's Rick Ross. He literally has talked about date, like he made a song about raping people, okay, by drugging them. Hello, this is a CO. Okay, he worked in the American prison industrial complex, and you got rolled by Mr. Tubby Man. Like, that's crazy. Who literally stole the identity of a real black person who was a victim of the American prison industrial complex, who Ricardo Ross was very much. What is this? Kendrick Lamar diss song that Drake got a Toronto restaurant named New Ho King. Business going crazy? No way. Kendrick doing more for Toronto local businesses than Drake, man of the people. Anyway, yeah, he's a former CO who stole the identity basically of a real person, an actual real criminal. Anyway, apparently Drake got robbed at New Ho King in 2009 too. Oh, that's what the line is about. Oh, anyway, let's listen to what do the RDC clip, which I already saw as soon as it got out. It was so good. I'm actually kind of surprised they meat ride Drake more, because they're usually very I feel like they're usually very apolitical on black people's business in general. Like, if there's something that's really contentious, I feel like they don't stay out of it. But I know they're J. Cole fans. I know that. But I mean, anyway, let's just watch.
That push a P. Let me see you push a T.
What? Push a T? That shit lame.
He's terribly rare. How many you see two bad bitches?
Two bad
women. That's real competition. You might pop ass with them. Let's
do pop ass with them.
I'll make sure I double back with you.
Come on, stupid.
I love the Ghost Riders, because at first I thought they were, it was like a double entendre. I thought that he had Klansmen in the room as his writers. You know what I mean?
We don't wanna hear you say no more.
Dude, I'm black. I'm black. What is he talking about? I'm black.
No more. Stop.
Dude, that's lame as. Hey, where y'all going? Where y'all going? Oh, y'all scared? Oh, man, we don't need them, man. This lame ass diss, man. How are people listening to this? This don't deserve a response, right? You know what? Take a picture of me. About to respond with an Instagram caption. You can't take that. Man, what should I say? There's so many out there.
I don't think you should do that, bro.
Oh, what you thinking? What should I say? An Instagram story or a photo dump? A photo dump, that'll get them going for real. What's that? What is that?
That's the only way, bro.
Come on, put that away, Brody. We don't need that. Come on, you don't believe in me?
Laughing, bro.
What's going on with you?
I done heard you my whole life, nigga. I know.
Yes, I've been in the game for a long time.
Oh, that.
Man, don't tell me you're scared too. Come on, man. It's nothing.
Listen, 2 a.m. in Compton, bro. Drop that.
Come on. Dude, I'm not using
Drop
this,
that,
man.
Bro.
You know what? It don't matter that you don't believe in me, man. Let me get in the booth. That's what everybody want, huh? That's what everybody wants. That's what I'm gonna do. Watch out, man. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. I could top that easy. That short ass. Man, that's crazy. I was really trying to keep this PG. Yeah, you like that, right? Where you go? Come on, hey, Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. Come on.
Look at this. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great. It's so great that Fantano made a 26-minute video on it.
Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. You know why you're here. I know why you're here. It's Beef Watch 2024. The tensions between Kendrick Lamar and Drake continue to escalate. Things have advanced quite a bit since Kendrick Lamar fired that first public shot across the bow at Drake and J. Cole on Like That from the Metro Boomin and Future album We Don't Trust You weeks and weeks ago. J. Cole responded. He apologized. He rescinded the response. Then Drake responded with push-ups, and then one more time responded again, trying to bait Kendrick into a response sooner rather than later with the tailor-made freestyle. I very much messed with push-ups, as you guys may remember. And while I thought what Drake did with the whole AI voice thing with Tupac and Snoop was kind of a very smart psychological warfare 4D chess type move, it was still...
No, I think it showed weakness. I don't think it was a smart move. I think it showed weakness. Y'all was hating when Drake dropped. Man, y'all full of shit, Lamau. Wait, no, I said wait, what? I literally personally, I listened to it. I said it was good. But, oh, are you talking about Fantano and what he had to say about the second drop? Because the second drop, I thought wasn't a smart move. And I think it showed nervousness on behalf of Drake. This whole chat was hating. Yeah, I was hating, and I'm still hating on the second drop. The first drop was good, though. I thought the first drop was good in the sense that, like, Push-Ups was good because it was actually, like, it was very listenable. Like, it was a decent song in general.
Really weird and tasteless and kind of odd on his part. I commented on that as well. And since that video I did on the tailor-made freestyle, that response, that diss track, has been taken down off social media because it turns out Tupac's estate not too...
Bro, what is this guy doing? Kendrick Lamar is being accused of stealing lines from battle rappers for his Euphoria diss track. Oh my God. Okay, bro. OVO sweatshop really sweating for these reaches. Dude, come on. DJ Academics, like listening to DJ Academics on Drake related issues is so stupid. It's just like, yeah, it's like going to Israeli state media to learn about what the IDF did, okay, and why it was totally valid. All right, he's doing Pallywood shit over here, okay. DJ Academics is the Jake Tapper of Drake news. What Israel is the Drake Tapper. What Israel is the Jake Tapper. DJ Academics basically does the same thing that Jake Tapper does, but for Drake. Okay, bro's got Drake's fake abs touching his forehead. He's glazing him so hard. Oh my God. Okay, what is this Drake on his next record?
Now who's gonna tell me that I can't say? Now who's gonna...
happy with Drake using the guy's voice in that weird ass track. So yeah, that's down offline now. And days later, we finally have a full-on, complete, direct at Drake response from Kendrick in the form of this track, Euphoria. That's the setup. That's the context. Let's get into it. Just kind of talking about on a surface level, the instrumental production, sonic aspects of what's going on here. We have a pretty lengthy diss here at 6 minutes and change. Bit of an intro.
Why is Drake Israel the anti-Semite of the month award looking true? Oh my God. Shut up. Okay. Drake, for all of his faults, okay, is actually an anti-Zionist, so I respect that.
Bit of an outro. Core of the track works in 3.
I forgot that Drake is half Jewish. Okay, my bad.
separate parts. A first leg that is backed by a Teddy Pendergrass sample over this Kendrick Lamar
like that.
is giving us a pretty low-key delivery that kind of lures you in a little bit, really gets you set up to eat up every word that he's saying because he's not jumping out at you. Then things escalate with a beat switch, a pretty standard but grim and dark trap instrumental that is a little lo-fi, a little rough around the edges, some big synth horns on it, some bells in the background too. And then once again, another beat switch with a similar rhythm in the background, but we're kind of switching it up melodically with these kind of wheezy, dusty string leads, which eventually drop away in favor of just kind of giving us the rhythms. Instrumentally, I feel like the track is solid, not exactly mind-blowing or game-changing, but as far as the instrumentals have gone so far in this beef exchange, no beat has really gone harder than that original Like That Beat. I think on the instrumental side, it's really Metro Boomin who's kind of going to end up taking the W on this one. But no matter, because in these diss exchanges between Kendrick and Drake, I don't think the production should be carrying that much anyway. It really should be the words. It should be the flows. It should be the pen game.
Wait. OVO 40 under Kendrick Lamar trying to win on a technicality? What is this? OVO 40 under Kendrick Lamar Instagram post apparently Kendrick deleted the Palestine comments. Yo, chill. No, dude. Don't say that. Say it ain't so. No, Kendrick definitely pro-Palestine. Don't even start. Come on now. 40 comments still under Kendrick post, and also it could have been IG who's behind the comments being deleted. It's fake. These guys are doing fake news. Kendrick is a Zionist. He's not. Shut up. Confirm fake. Confirm fake. Confirm fake. And also, Kendrick, he told me he's freeing Palestine as we speak, actually.
While on push-ups.
Also, remember, Abel, The Weeknd, also is beefing, even though they're both Canadian, also beefing with Drake. Who's done more for Palestine, Drake or The Weeknd? That's right. That's another technical W for Kendrick Lamar's camp in general.
Drake most definitely came with some mean words, some witty lines, kind of an analysis in terms of the splits Kendrick and company are making on their records, their streams, their sales. Kendrick is clearly out for blood on this track, where it is very apparent that his distaste for Drake goes beyond just hip-hop competition being the best. He doesn't really care for the guy on a personal level. As a result, his whole takedown of Aubrey, as I will go over, is kind of surgical and multi-layered. So with that, let's get into the bars and the content of what Kendrick is saying. Here we got the bars right here. Before I get into this, just to remind you guys, everything I'm going to say about every single lyric on this track is my interpretation of what is being said and what goes on. You're free to have your own read on all of this. What I'm about to say is not the be-all, end-all with all this. We are observing a beef, a disagreement between two very talented, entertaining guys. Ultimately, all I want to see is who makes the better set of tracks in the midst of all this. And with that, let's see if it ends up being Kendrick with this Euphoria cut. All right, now, for those who did not pay attention, this entire track kicks off with a reversed piece of audio, which is a callback to the classic reinterpretation of The Wizard of Oz, The Wiz, that at one point features Richard Pryor saying, "Everything they say about me is true," which then progresses into another line about him being a phony. Now, to me, my read of this, and really just the surrounding everything from the get-go on this track, is Kendrick is really trying to do everything that he can to paint Drake as inauthentic, as fake, essentially as an actor. A guy who has more ties with entertainment and visual media and pretending to be something.
No, you're glazing Kendrick too much. This shit was trash. Okay, come on. Be objective. Be objective. Being ridiculous.
That he's not, than he does hip hop in actuality, which again is why he's throwing in this line here, which is why he has named the record Euphoria. Many fans have read layers into Kendrick's reasoning behind that, but the most obvious, I think, kind of tie-in with all of this is Euphoria is a show. It's a drama that is actually produced by Drake himself. I'm not trying to play stupid here. I'm just saying the most obvious connection between all of these things, especially with these bars on the front end, where he's talking about Drake being a famous actor we once knew, looking paranoid, who is now spiraling, is that, again, Drake is an actor. He is a fake. He is being something that he's not, which Kendrick reinforces with even more bars right after in a very low-key, relaxed flow, and a writing style that sets things up like he's just a narrator. Beginning to tell you a story. He's not throwing too much wordplay, flipping too many double entendres, anything like that. He's just setting us up for a tale. Fabrication stories on the family front, because you heard Mr. Morale, a pathetic master manipulator. I can smell the tales on you now. You're not a rap artist, you're a scam artist with hopes of being accepted. Kendrick makes another comparison between him and Drake as well, saying, I make music that electrify him. You make music that pacify him.
He also says that Tommy Hilfiger stood out, but Fubu never had been in your collection, which is directly about like Tommy Hilfiger. If you guys recall, back in the day, said some racist stuff about like black people wearing his clothes, and Fubu is like is supposed to be for us, by us, which is like he's saying that like he's saying that you're. I mean, it's a reinforcement of the same narrative that like you're not with the culture in general. What could Kendrick mean by these mysterious lyrics?
I mean, if you're objectively looking at the music of both artists, you can't really disagree with, because what does Drake's music really inspire people about, or inspire people over, really kind of, I guess, rile them up to do or feel or think? Much of it is very low-key, egocentric, moody, in your feels type music, which there's nothing wrong with in concept, but it does stand that that is pretty much the only lane Drake has the ability to operate in, whereas Kendrick has shown the ability to do his thing in multiple different lanes, and has especially focused a lot of his efforts in making music that has been proven to be boundary breaking, challenging, substantive, and thoughtful. I can double down on that line, but I'll spare you this time. That's random acts of kindness. So Kendrick already saying on some level out of the gate, he is pulling and will most likely be pulling punches on this track. Everything he has to say about Drake topically, maybe he's saving for another response down the road. I know you're a master manipulator and a habitual liar too, but don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell truths about you. It's after this point on the song that vocally and instrumentally, the track switches up. Kendrick escalates the energy level, and he really starts going in the first full verse. Okay, look, the first handful of bars on this verse definitely work in layers, but to kind of get to the meat and to the point of what Kendrick is saying here, he's really building himself up. He's ramping up to start pulling out some deadly lines and start kind of teasing at things that he might want to reveal about Drake down the road, or maybe eating at Drake's feelings and motivations in the midst of all this, saying, everybody want to be demon till they get chipped by your throwaway, talking about the way Drake has been acting and carrying himself in the midst of this beef and prior to it, as a tough guy, as a kingpin, as a this and a that. But meanwhile, Kendrick is saying he's been chipped or hurt by a throwaway line, a throwaway verse, a sub, something that wasn't even close to going as hard as he possibly could, which, I mean, you could kind of say like that was, given that it wasn't that lengthy of a verse to begin with. It did have some great bars and wordplay in it, but Kendrick has dropped bigger, more hard-hitting verses in the past. And yet, because it's Kendrick, that performance and that writing caused the stir that it did anyway. And next, Kendrick really does show how deep he can go in, lyrically setting up this idea of whether or not Drake has played a game of have you ever, asking him, have you ever walked your enemy down like with a poker face? Have you ever paid 500 though, like to an open case? Which a lot of people are tying to an instance back in 2019 where Drake paid a settlement, a six-figure settlement, to a sexual assault accuser, which bringing that up is it's a diss track. It's fair game. That is not a good look.
Bro, that's crazy. Might as well just directly give me a line to DJ Academics. This guy sent me a r/Drizzy comment titled, Drake is about to obliterate Kenny. And he promoted this link by saying, please listen to the people who have been in this game for a while. The people that have been in this game for a while. After that mid-ass track Kenny dropped, it's safe to say this battle's about to be over. Someone should have told Kenny to keep his one in the tuck. We didn't wait all this time for a no warning-esque track. What happened to Let's Get It, bro? The only thing we've gotten from Kenny is wasted time. Nice try, Aubrey. Thanks, man.
That Kendrick
It's
is
his own
absolutely right
comment.
to go after. This next set of bars referentially gets kind of dense and involves a lot of different ties industry-wise between Drake and a lot of cash money people, a lot of music business people. But Kendrick says, I hate when a rapper talk about guns, then somebody die, they turn into nuns, then hop online, like pray for my city, he faking for likes and digital hugs. His daddy a killer, he wanna be Junior, they must have forgot the that they done. Where Kendrick is kind of portraying a hypocrisy here, an inconsistency between Drake and those who are around him, especially above him in the music industry. Guys like Birdman, guys like Jay Prince, guys who use and abuse their control in the music industry, especially on the hip hop side, in all the wrong ways. And then Kendrick ties this up in just the meanest. Dementia must run in his family, you know, meaning the group of people he's a part of. Let it get shaky. I'll park his son, which some might think is going a little too far here, but he actually kind of addresses this very tone shift in the following handful of bars, saying the very first time I shot me a Drake, meaning previously when he's gone at Drake before, but Drake also gun. Homie had told me to aim it this way. I didn't point down enough today. I'll show you I learned from those mistakes. So obviously listening to somebody else prior, Kendrick didn't go about doing this the way that he wanted to, and also pointing down meaning aiming lower, going down to hell, shooting below the belt, which given what has happened up until this point, he is clearly ready to do. This next set of bars is pretty interesting, as on the front end, Kendrick makes reference to a recent purchase of a ring that Drake did and showed and flashed on social media that Tupac owned. And then he ends that with, I'd rather do that than let this Canadian guy make Pac turn in his grave, referencing not just that, but also Drake's recent use of Pac's voice in this whole AI thing. Kendrick also makes reference to Drake's perception of things being twisted, which given how he tried to go at Kendrick for being too pop-centric is pretty valid, because that's obviously an accusation you can hurl at Drake times 10. I hurt your feelings, you don't want to work with me no more, okay. It's 3 goats left, and I seen 2 of them kissing and hugging on stage. Then goes on to make this meta bar about how he's going to explain why he's bringing this up. And again, he's telling us the number of bars we're going to have to wait for him to finally give us this punchline and this reasoning. And also, he's taking shots at Drake's weird accent play shit that he's always doing whenever he crosses over into a sound or into a vibe or with an artist that does something different than what he does. But yes, Cole and Aubrey know that he's selfish, the crown is heavy, and he prays that they're his real friends.
Thank you for the 20 big ones, anonymous
he's
gifter.
YNW Melly, who is currently in jail because he got convicted of killing 2 of his friends. From here, Kendrick gets pretty direct, talking about how he doesn't like that Drake has been taking shots at Pharrell. He's going to take up the beef.
Listen, he woke up in the morning and he had murder on his mind, bro. Not convicted, allegedly.
On his behalf. And then he says, F all that pushing P, doing a little Gunna Wanna reference, and then says he would like to see Drake push a T, which does that need any further explanation? I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's not guilty. Yeah, he's not. God damn. Anonymous gifter with another 20 big ones. What's happening? Bro, is it Drake? Drake, honestly, if it's you, I will drop all of this shit. I will defend you if you let me play in the basketball court whenever I want. That's how easily purchasable I am. You know how to reach me, okay? You know how to reach me. Unless Kendrick Lamar also has an indoor basketball court that's like NBA regulation, in which case then, you know, Drake, you're out. Kendrick, I don't know how you can reach me. Typical socialist, yeah. Once I touch a little bit of this money, this socialism shit is over, dude. You know how to reach you? I actually know a couple people who are friends with Drake, and I don't mean like Aiden Ross or some shit. I've had some of them on this broadcast. Bro, you shouldn't admit that. I mean, they're wonderful people. I mean, even though they're friends with Drake, not 24K.
I don't think it does. You better off spinning again on him. You think about pushing.
Wait, what do you mean you don't know what Pusha T means? Pusha T is the one who Drake never actually ended up responding to because he ended his life. Story of Adidon. My man did investigative reporting. He literally did investigative journalism on a diss track famously. It's probably one of the best diss tracks of all time. Probably one of the best diss tracks of all time, where like it definitely was one of the most consequential diss tracks of all time. He dissed Drake into fatherhood, okay? Like he dissed Drake so disrespectfully that he had to assume the role of a father, take ownership over his son.
Me, which at this point, that may in fact be true.
To which Drake never actually responded to, and also has like made references to like about how he's actually a good dad now, like a bunch of times. But that's pretty much it.
Because at least at the end of the day, while Pusha T did really...
See, Drake Dick Riders, he was hiding his son from the world, bruh. Yeah, totally, dude.
Smother Drake in the crib with the story of Adidon. Pusha T is never going to be at Drake's size, unfortunately. And Drake can just kind of throw shots at him all day and probably see no repercussions about it, because there's going to be a massive section of Drake's audience that's never going to listen to a Pusha T diss all the way through, no matter what, even if it's a good one, even if it's an earth-shattering one. And if they do, it's most likely going to be one time and they're going to be doing this the entire time. Whereas with Kendrick, the entire world is going to be listening to this diss track. I mean, already on YouTube in a few short days, this song has as many streams as Push-Ups does on YouTube. Kendrick goes on to make more comparisons between him as Drake, obviously putting him above Drizzy. And also, we ain't got to get personal. This is a friendly fade. You should keep it that way. Another pulling punches line. Like for Kendrick, this is him actually not going nuclear. He is not pushing the red button. And he's essentially recommending wherever this goes, it should stay here at this level. And he threatens saying that he knows stuff about people that would make Gunna, who, I mean, has long been talked about as a snitch, that would make him look like a saint.
Wait, what the fuck is this?
To at one point, and it bugged me because it was like somebody I looked up to at one point. It was somebody that I was like, I used to see out and be like, yo, that's that, you know what I'm saying, he's doing his thing. And it bugged me because
you should have given me a trigger warning or something. Like, you that's insane that you just sent that. Like, that's insane that you sent that to me. And I thought like it was gonna be like, haha, like funny. I didn't realize it was like, oh my God. I didn't realize that it was like, that's some like he said it like a dude who loves debating being able to say it. You know what I mean? He said it like a white English teacher says it. Play it again. I missed it. I will not be playing that again. Absolutely not.
Ain't gonna really catch an astray on this one, because he's really been doing everything that he possibly can to, you know, sidestep the snitch allegations. But after this diss, he's really not going to overcome them. Side note, though, I do feel like a bar such as this one is a reflection on how expectations of diss tracks have changed so much over the years, that in order for a diss to be good, there has to be some big reveal that really is kind of like the Pusha T story of Adidon effect. Personally, I don't think a diss track has to have a revelation on the level of you have a son in order for it to be good and effective. But with that being said, Kendrick unfortunately has
it's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of a one-off, you know what I mean? Once that shit pops, you can't really do it again. Like, even if he had another son that he was hiding, it still wouldn't hit as hard as you are hiding a child. You know what I mean? The first time is just like, we will never have that again.
Cross to bear that his fans actually analyze his lyrics and pay attention to the things that he says. And I do think he will have egg on his face if things escalate from here and whatever information or revelation he's promising with this bar and others like it doesn't actually bubble up because he doesn't present any additional info. Which, I mean, from here, Drake most definitely has the ability to call his bluff if he so wants. Because, I mean, as damning as some of these bars are, Drake may respond, and I think he needs to respond, especially since he kind of baited this response out of Kendrick to begin with. And if he knows for a fact that Kendrick is bullshitting, he may call him out and say, I don't think you know anything. Go ahead, say whatever you feel like you think you know. From here, Kendrick kind of reframes and reminds us and Drake about what this is all about. It's not about critics or gimmicks, AI stuff. It's about who's the greatest. And so far, Kendrick is showing that in this back and forth, because I don't think this track or any track in the midst of all of this should be taken in a vacuum or just at face value. It's about which person is outdoing the other person.
Son, aren't you hiding a child? He's literally right behind me. The only thing I'm hiding is the top of the hour ad break, which I forgot to run exactly at the top of the hour, so I'm running it now. Here's the ad break now.
And so far, when it comes to the quality of the tracks we have heard up until this point, I think Kendrick is outdoing Drake here. Because, again, the tailor-made freestyle was just a weird gimmick to get Kendrick to react instantly. And push-ups, while I think it did have some good bars here and there, Drake did not, objectively, and we're not even all the way through the track yet, dig as deep into Kendrick as Kendrick is into Drake on this song so far. Kendrick also says that while what he does, this performance, this writing, this act of aggression he's involved in, while it's about love, it's also about hate, and he's the biggest hater, and he very apparently hates Drake with such a deep passion, making a bit of a DMX callback here when he was ranting about Drake during a radio show, saying he hates the way that he walks, the way that he talks, the way that he dresses, the way that he sneak disses. If he catches a flight, it's going to be direct, which he is very much being direct here. He doesn't even like the women that Drake has sex with. There's been a lot of debate over why exactly he framed this line in this way. Personally, given the tone of many of the bars surrounding this throughout the rest of the track, I kind of see it as an attack against Drake's moral character, because he's either hooking up with Instagram models, that kind of thing, or women that, as many people have discussed, are not necessarily of age, which is very much a third rail on this song that Kendrick doesn't seem to be ready to go full in.
But he never goes all the way. Even with Euphoria, I think he just means, I personally thought in this song, in this bar, that he's just like saying that they're all like their thoughts. Like he's saying, in the words of Los Polios, he's saying like he's being a misogynist.
In on quite yet, but it seems to be something that just about
like girls that go on Fresh and Fit,
everybody is expecting him to comment on, even Drake himself, because through the Tupac AI voice, he made mention of that very thing. And I don't know if Kendrick isn't like going that deep into it as a topic because he doesn't have that much information on it. It's something he's saving for a little bit further down the road if he does get another response from Drake, which he most likely will. But either way, it's something that Kendrick frames as being an issue that everyone is aware of. And then topically, he circles back into this sore spot that Rick Ross was very much going on about, that Drake is an appropriator. He's a fake. He's an actor. That he acts tough, and he's essentially not a part of hip-hop culture, but he's just performing. He also claims that Drake does not have a classic. And again, these are all criticisms that have been leveled at Drake before. But Kendrick is going about framing them lyrically in this track in a better way. We see another example of that, comparing Rick Ross with him, saying, let your core audience stomach that, then tell them where you get your abs from. And again, in the wake of the Rick Ross diss, there's been a lot of discussion about, the Drake liposuction, Drake.
I'm not going to you, Chatter. Chatter literally came at it from every angle. It was like, come on. When are we going to have a child? When are we going to have a child? When are we going to have a child? And then I didn't respond. So then he turned around and was like, when are you going to have a child? You're 50 years old. You're pushing 50. Good tactic, Chatter. Yeah, I'm definitely going to you now.
Drake, abs, Drake, plastic surgery. Yeah, okay, that's very obviously a thing that happened. Pointing it out just to point it out doesn't necessarily add up to much, honestly. But if you are going to bring it up, do it in a way where you're getting layers here, where the core of your audience has to stomach a fact, an idea, a piece of information. He also makes reference to the fact that Yachty has been outed as a ghostwriter for Drake because there recently was a reference track that came out that clearly Yachty did that landed on a Drake record. He goes again hilariously into all of the things he hates about Drake and comments on him being surprised that Drake had a feature request for him despite them having unsettled business. Now, this is a bit of speculation here, but many assume that this has something to do with Drake wanting Kendrick on first-person shooter as well, which I guess would kind of like make sense given the vibe of that track. So Kendrick's dislike of Drake just runs so deep. He's not even taking feature requests from the guy before this whole beef popped off. But he still has love for the Drake who makes poppy, catchy, just generally enjoyable music. He says he likes when he sees Drake successful, and he wants Drake to keep him dancing and waving his hand. And if he continues doing that, there won't be a threat. But then immediately after that, he infantilizes the guy and says he doesn't see where the man in him is, and then tries to bleed him, saying that when he stands by Sexy Red, he sees two bad bitches. And again, Kendrick kind of, makes a little bit of a nod, makes a reference again to this idea that Drake doesn't like women, grown women, mature women, actual women. From here, Kendrick responds to Drake's allegations that his percentages off his music are all off and pretty messed up. Meanwhile, we know that for a fact Drake has this huge multi-million-dollar deal with his label currently, but that deal, while it does front him a lot of money, it does also require him to split a lot of revenue on multiple fronts with the label. So as a result, Kendrick here is advocating that, well, let's look at all of it. Let's look at all the splits. Let's pull all of it apart and see who financially is really doing better than the other. And he also kind of frames this as a pyramid scheme in a way, saying that he's signed to a guy that's signed to a guy that's signed to a guy, and also insists, and this is kind of another little revelation here, that Drake tried to throw a cease and desist on the Like That record in the first place, or was it the remix? He's not super specific with that, but he's making a pretty bold claim here. And then he asks in a very funny way, ho, what, you ain't like that record? Back to back, I like that record. Maybe kind of displaying a bit of a double standard here, saying not only does he like back to back, which I mean, we all do. It's a great diss track. But you're allowed to diss people. And am I not? Is Like That not allowed to exist? Kendrick also says that while he's involved in this beef here, he's not that engrossed in the process of digging up dirt on people, because that's not his life. His life is actually raising his son, and saying that Drake wouldn't know anything about doing that is another very brutal moment on this song. Now, this is a bit of information that going into this track, we all know, we all understand, Drake had to be reminded by Pusha T to be in his son's life. And look, to Drake's credit, at least insofar as what he has presented to the public, he does seem to be more involved in his son's life at this point. But you know what? Being a deadbeat dad, you just have to kind of get caught doing it one time for it to hound you for the rest of your life, potentially. He pretty much...
A bird just shit on me. Do not respond to that song as Champagne Poppy. Referring to DMX's interview where he spoke about all the things he doesn't like about Drake.
I don't like anything about Drake. Mom, I don't like his voice. I don't like what he talks about. I be trying to tell his face. I don't like the way he walks, like nothing. I don't like his haircut. I don't like anything about Drake.
Here's referring to the time Diddy punched Drake back in 2014.
Calls Drake godless and flips on its head the 20v1 line that Drake spat not too long ago, saying, ain't 20v1, it's 1v20. If I gotta smack dudes that write with you, as it's essentially Kendrick versus Drake's ghostwriters. He says he'll clean them out as well, keep Beam close by. And then, this almost proves that Kendrick is actually writing this shit, these next couple of bars, because he asks, is he battling a ghost or AI? And then he mentions Joel Osteen. Now, for those who are out of the know, Joel Osteen isn't he like a mega church preacher piece of garbage that Kanye?
He's a televangelist.
It was on stage with and had some dealings with. Yeah, he is not the actor Kendrick is actually trying to make reference to here on this bar. So, maybe this response here was a little rushed, because I don't know if Kendrick was knowingly misfiring with this reference or not, because he is not by name calling on the same or the right guy. So, I mean, this is kind of a pothole. This is a bit of a
It wasn't a mistake. He mixes the name Joel Osteen and Haley Joel Osment intentionally, I think.
misstep here on Kendrick's part, I would say. But with that being said, the other stuff surrounding it certainly hits harder than bars about someone's shoe size. And again, things finish off with a threat from Kendrick that he could take things further from here if he's pushed to do so. Oh, and of course, to top things all off, he tries hard to revoke Drake's N-word card, which obviously I'm not in a position to have an opinion on that either way as a white guy. Okay, look, because for sure this whole beef, this whole everything is going to go further from this point. I'm not going to go any longer from here to comment on this track. But what I want to say is, in terms of wordplay, criticisms, attacks, consistency, relentlessness, this is the best song we have heard of this beef so far. Kendrick showed up Drake just in the way that I thought he would. However, I don't know if Kendrick is necessarily undefeatable. I wouldn't put Drake down for the count, especially with all of his out-of-the-box mind games that he likes to play. But Drake, even with ghostwriters, has an uphill battle on his hands, and most definitely has to respond to this, especially given just how formally he addressed Kendrick on push-ups, and the fact that he additionally baited a response out of Kendrick with Tailor Made. A response, a diss, a track is clearly what Drake wanted. He has the diss now on his plate, and he has to eat it. He cannot do another Pusha T PR statement, we're ending the beef, Jay Prince is stepping in to close it all off again. This is not 2018. He has to finish what has been started, and from here we will see how that goes. But as of right now, I think Kendrick is coming out on top, because regardless of how much you like this track or how you feel like it fits in the greater scheme of diss songs of all time, Drake has not come through with a superior cut so far. And if he takes down Kendrick from here, lines about his height and his shoe size and how rarely he drops music are not going to cut it. He's got to go further. True. And I guess from here we will see if he can. Those are my thoughts.
While people follow celebs like this, bro, what do you mean? This is like, rap battles are some of the most fun, entertaining aspects of rap culture in general. What do you mean? It's literally for our entertainment. Just sit back and enjoy it. Like, what? It's drama and also music at the same time.